I'm Ingrid Lyons. I'm the executive director of Save the Boundary Waters, and I'm that person who sends you way too many emails. But also, if you don't get our emails, you should probably go sign up. Save the Boundary Waters is a proud sponsor of Paddle and Portage. We work to protect canoe country so that folks can paddle and portage in northeastern Minnesota for generations to come. Did you know that the Boundary Waters is America's most visited wilderness? Not only is it one of the country's most iconic and unique landscapes, but its 1.1 million acres of lakes and boreal forests offers something for everyone. People have long found inspiration and strength in the Boundary Waters, and now the wilderness needs you to speak loudly on its behalf. The future of this special place is at risk, threatened by America's most toxic industry, copper mining. Thanks for reading all the emails from us. I know we send a lot, but clearly there's a lot at stake for canoe country. You can make a difference. You already have. Join us in the effort to protect the Boundary Waters for generations to come by visiting our website at savetheboundarywaters.org to learn more.
Welcome to the Paddle and Portage podcast. We're coming to you from the Fredericks Estate, brush burning. We got updates, some news, some information, and some friends. Where do we jump in?
We should start, LB, with the fact that RABC permits are going to expire in about 20 days unless the Canadian government takes action to renew those permits. It's getting real. It is real. I mean, this is like down to the wire, people's livelihoods. This is a very intense situation, quite frankly.
Well, you know, Freddie, I know you and I understand the intensity of it, but there are still people out there, like a conversation we just had the other day. Some people out there still don't really understand RABCs and what the issue is about this.
Yeah, and in fact, I was over in Ely this week, and I spoke with an outfitter, Ginny Nelson from Spirit of the Wilderness, and she actually has a really good summary of what RABCs are. Here's Ginny.
The Remote Area Border Crossing Program clears you through Canadian customs prior to your trip. So you turn in your paperwork, you turn in your passport information, all sorts of information, and then the Canadian Customs looks through your information and decides, yep, you're okay to come through, and then they give you a remote area border crossing permit. You carry that permit when you cross the border. When you come back into the United States, you come to someplace like Spirit of the Wilderness, and you check back in. We're a U.S. Customs check-in station. So the RABC is a Canadian Customs check-in, and then you come back to, like, say, Spirit of the Wilderness and do a U.S. Customs check-in. So it's you're checking into each country is what it is. When you're on a canoe trip, it's you're not going through a physical border patrol building. Like if you travel through International Falls, Fort Francis, you stop and get checked through customs and they talk to you. You're not having somebody talk to you. This is doing all that through paperwork.
So that's Ginny giving an overview of what RABCs are. She did acknowledge, in all fairness, LB, in our conversation, that to Spirit of the Wilderness, RABCs aren't the end-all, be-all of the business. You know, there are more businesses, even in the Ely area on Moose Lake, Williamson Hall, Ladderell, some of those businesses right on Moose, that, like, if there's no RABCs, it's a big deal. And Donnie and Lisa from Chippewa Inn on the Canadian side of SAG, LB. Remember, we've had them on a couple episodes?
Absolutely. They're members of our community here.
Exactly. And we've been up, went to Cache Bay with them last year, illustrated how RABCs work on that episode. I messaged Donnie the other day, just this week. I said, Donnie, you losing sleep over this RABC thing? Is it impacting your sleep? He text messages back, hell yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, we're talking about people's livelihoods here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just another one of those issues right now where if it doesn't impact you, you may not understand it or even care. But the goal here is to really educate people that these issues are very important for some of us, and they make a big deal to certain members of our paddling community, and so then they arguably could be a big deal for us all.
That's right. Here's a little bit more of my conversation in Ely with Ginny at Spirit of the Wilderness, just talking about RABCs. What are you thinking about RABCs at this time after we've gone through this entire year sort of waiting for something and we don't know? Where are you at on this whole thing?
There has been no information coming from the Canadian Customs. There's not even like rumors around as to what none of us have heard anything. So it's really hard to say if we want to book trips for customers to the Quetico. It's hard to say, yeah, let's just try to book a permit and hope the RABC program comes back online, because they want to make trip plans, and if they can't guarantee they can go, it's really hard to make that decision. Luckily, we have the Boundary Waters to fall back on for sending people out on trips, but I already have people asking. This week, I had a number of emails asking about if the RABC program is going to be turned back on, because people really have a desire to go experience that area, and right now it's not a guarantee.
So what do you say when they're reaching out and going, what can you tell me? What do you know? Should I book this permit? Like, what's your sort of stereotypical response or copy and paste type response?
Our response is just, we have heard nothing. We have no idea, no knowledge. We can't even guess where it's going to go. So the end of December is when the current RABC permits expire, and we don't even know if they are going to extend the current ones that are out there, if they're going to turn on the program so people can get permits moving forward. So we just are being straight up and honest with our customers.
Other than Latterell's driving slowing you down on the Echo Trail that day, what did you make of the meeting at Crane Lake and the effort that's been happening from our representatives in Congress, sort of across the aisle? I mean, senators and Stauber have all been communicating or putting out public statements of some kind around this. At least Klobuchar and Stauber have, for sure. But what was your impression of that event at Crane Lake?
Well, one, I appreciate that anybody is trying to, find out information. We're just looking for a deadline to, okay, this isn't going to come back online until 2027 or halfway through 2026, or we just don't know. Just to have some information and to have some of our elected officials looking into it is a really positive thing in my book. As far as that meeting goes, you've heard the phrase that this meeting could have been an email. Kind of went through my mind. I appreciate hearing all different sides that, everybody's concerned about this. And it's really nice that there are people willing to look at it. But it's really frustrating to know there's not many answers coming out.
So that's the status, LB. I mean, right now the permits are set to expire on New Year's Eve. So in January 1, we wouldn't be able to cross over the Canadian side of SAG for our purposes in the way that we have in the past. And more importantly, for people like Donnie and Lisa at Chippewa Inn, we'll wait and see what happens. If there's any news from Canada about RABCs, I can assure you we will update that on the Paddle and Portage website, paddleandportage.com. We'll probably jump on and do an update, LB, before the end of the year, one way or the other, and hopefully it's with some good news.
Absolutely. And because podcasts exist in the timeless ether of the internet, you may be actually listening to this for the first time after all of this is flushed out. And if so, keep listening, because we also have more from Canada. Erin, our good pal, is, as we speak, tromping through the snow behind you, grabbing balsam boughs and tossing them on the fire.
That's right, Erin Walker from Westlake's YouTube channel and Paddle and Portage, who we've heard from many times now on the podcast, and she's written some fabulous articles. Came down to hang out and burn some brush with us today. It's been wonderful getting reacquainted. We hadn't seen Erin actually since Canoecopia. Just life gets in the way, busy schedules and so forth.
Way too long, and it's just a fantastic reunion. And not just are we having fun playing in the woods, but we also, both of us, have had some great reconnecting conversations with Erin today.
Yeah, and we've got the full video podcast of our conversations on the YouTube channel for Paddle and Portage, so be sure to check that out. But here's some of our excerpts from our conversations with Erin. How the heck are you?
Good, really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, had a good paddling season in the summer, just 3 more local trips
Yeah?
primarily, and then...
Local meaning Ontario-based?
Yeah, all in Ontario. So
Yeah.
we did Wabakimi to start the season off,
Yeah.
which was great. It was a bit of a...
What happened on that trip? Refresh
That
us,
was a
or-
sturgeon.
It's a sturgeon!
So we ran into...
Epic! And you wrote about that one
I did.
for P&P?
Yeah.
That was unreal.
Yeah, that's top 5. Might be top 3 wilderness experiences for me. That was pretty spectacular.
And that was like, did you even know there were sturgeon in that watershed?
No.
Oh my god.
Until I got the GoPro down.
Yeah.
Like we were confused. We were like, are those? We saw the fins. We're like, are those big? Like they must be huge lake trout or something.
Yeah.
Which now just feels silly. And then so I got in there, just at the bottom of the rapids. That we returned to because John had forgot his camera case.
That's right.
day
That's right. It
before.
was meant to be.
Yeah. So we woke up early, paddled 8 kilometers back.
Yes.
Backtracked.
That's totally right.
Bought the camera case, and then saw that. And so we were sitting in the canoe, and John spotted them first. And again, it was just these, and it looked like, I think I said to him, I was like, it kind of reminds me of whale watching, like out west, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? We had our dry suits on because it was an early season trip, and so I was like, I'm gonna get in there and see if I can get the GoPro on them. So I hopped in and waded in, and
That's
yeah,
right.
and they were huge, very unbothered by me.
Yeah.
Like just swimming. At one point, I was like between 2, and I felt like they're so strong. Like just swimming, I felt like I almost got knocked over.
Oh my god.
But
I mean, and sturgeon are like huge prehistoric looking, dinosaur-esque species.
they're so cool and live up to 100 years. Like those, I think, they're and I've always been interested in them. I never thought I'd really interact with them because I love them, and I personally don't want to fish for them just to pull them out of the water to see them, right?
I'm with you.
So
I'm with you on that.
I'm not gonna sport fish to see this creature that I admire and stress it out. So I kind of was just like, oh, they're this cool thing that I know are in the lakes and rivers around me, but probably will never really catch much of a glimpse of. And I think there was at least half a dozen, if not more, spawning in there. So yeah, that was the first trip of the season.
Wow. We're starting out with a bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, great article, and the
Thank
video
you.
is epic too on Lost Lakes. And
Yeah, that was, that's some of the coolest. I think that's the coolest footage I've ever got, because lots of our stuff, John does lots of the filming, of course. He gets some amazing shots, and I'm no cinematographer, but being in there with the GoPro and being able to, and it was hard because it was a fast current, so I couldn't see a ton. And GoPros they're handy, but they're funny, or just like on a selfie stick upside down in the current trying to chase fish around, right?
Yeah, right.
So when we actually like took a look at it and there was some good shots of them, I was pretty excited.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
So that's your season opener trip, and then what was after that?
and then Quetico, we did. So that was an interesting one too. We did 2 weeks in Quetico, and we started at Northern Light Lake, which is close to the Cache Bay ranger station. So we came across the Northern Light, and
Which goes into Saginaw.
Yeah, and then that's how we came into Quetico, and we were interested in that for a variety of reasons, but one of them just being with the politics and everything going on.
Border relations.
Relations, we figured
RABC permits, all these things.
it would be quiet time to go see that side of the park.
Which it was, I'm
Which it
sure,
was.
right?
Yeah, we still ran into a lot of people, which was nice.
Oh, okay.
And that was fun to we ran into more people than we do in a non-provincial park-based trip.
Yeah.
But it was Canadian and American. The Americans had come in through outfitters on the Canadian side, largely, because they didn't have the
RABC permit.
RABCs.
Yeah.
But it was nice to get to connect with them, and anytime we saw, welcome them, and still share that space with our neighbors a little bit.
Yeah. And you went into Cache Bay.
Yeah.
Went to the ranger station.
We did.
Met our pals Peter and Stacy, who are the first sort of full-time rangers there. As far as consecutively kind of coming back, having a presence since Janice.
Yeah.
Matachuk, and how was that meeting Peter and Stacy?
That was great. It was really nice. They were super friendly and really welcoming. Gave us a bit of a tour, and just kind of caught us up and got to learn a little bit more about the ranger station and their job, what it looks like.
Did you see the plaque for Janice and everything?
Checked out Janice's plaque, of course. And, it was nice to connect with them and hear just a bit about, they said, this year is just
visitation.
Traffic is down,
right.
80% or so, but they're still there welcoming any visitors that figure out how to get across.
Yep. And hopefully they're there next year.
I hope so.
And into perpetuity.
Yeah. Saw the falls change.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've been into that end of the park.
Yep.
And it was, sometimes I'm underwhelmed by waterfalls, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the falls chain was worth it. They impressed me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth the trip.
Nice.
So.
And you were there for a while, right, in Quetico?
Yeah, we did 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think we did 200 miles.
Nice.
Yeah, so we went from Northern Light Lake, which is just outside the park, and then came in through Cache Bay, and then kind of the theme of the trip was actually rivers of Quetico.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's not really known as a park with rivers, but it has a couple. We did the Malign.
Yep.
Pick, and there was one other one that I can't remember now, but we kind of connected the 3 main river systems and traveled through there to just because it's kind of not really what you think of when you think of Quetico, and we thought let's try that. So we went from there, made our way through, and then back to the main. Is it Dawson, the main?
Yep.
Yeah, campground. That's where we finished up.
Okay. So. Great. And how was visitation like when you got a little more in the interior of the park?
It was good. It varied. Like the Quetico Lake was busy.
Yeah.
It was like kind of. There were some days where we had not too much, and then other days it would be steady, where you'd see a couple people here and there, but no lineups at portages or anything like that.
Okay.
So I like it. It's nice doing wilderness trips where you don't see anyone.
Yep.
But I also like sharing the outdoors and seeing other people out there and kind of connecting with people that are out there enjoying it too. So I like the combination of both. I'm just as happy to run into some people as not.
How does it go now for you two having the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Are people spotting you and it's like John and Erin?
Sometimes. I'd say maybe like 30% of the time. People recognize us. I think usually more than anything, people recognize the camera first. They see a full frame camera with a mic and stuff on it, and then they'll clue in and recognize John or I, but not everyone. I'd say maybe 30%.
Okay.
So we're just regular paddlers for the most part out there. Crossing paths with people.
Yeah.
And then whenever we do run into anyone who's seen any of our videos, that's always pretty fun too. Get to connect with people and hear how it's kind of inspired them or how they resonate with it.
Right, for sure. So, you do your Quetico trip, and then you said there was like a third.
Oh yeah, and then I did over the September long weekend. Went out on a kayak trip with my mom and sister and a couple friends.
Yeah,
there were 6 of us. We went to White Otter Castle. Which is kind of not far from Quetico, just outside of Atikokan.
Yeah.
And it's this really cool place where this guy pretty much built it's a really nice place, this log frame. He was hoping to build a homestead and just settle there, but it's an impressive structure. It took him 13 years because he did it mostly on his own and bringing all the stuff in. It was completely remote.
Yeah.
And he ended up passing away. I think he might have drowned in the lake.
Wow.
Unfortunately, but so the place got a little bit run down, and then at some point in the last couple decades, the Friends of White Otter Castle is a group that has kind of fundraised and worked to restore it. So they've restored it back to kind of a reasonable shell of what it was.
Okay.
And now you can just go and visit and check it out. It's like a 3-story wooden, really impressive looks like a castle.
Right. Is
so-
that the one he built it for his wife or something?
He built it looking for a wife. He didn't have one yet, but he was hoping to attract one
Okay.
to like have something to offer.
Wow.
He had one woman, he like put an ad in the local newspaper.
Yeah.
He had one woman who's going to take him up on it, but she said that her family wanted to meet him first. And he said no.
What's the deal? Why wouldn't I mean?
I don't know, he didn't want to like travel to meet her family.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It wasn't that far, but I don't know.
You got to meet the in-laws.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
so he was a little bit picky, it sounds like. But
Interesting.
good for him.
And so, do you like recreate at this castle thing, or is it just more like a walk-up tourism kind of vibe?
Yeah, so we went and checked it out, and what we did was we camped. Our campsite was on a beach just across the bay from it, so we had like a good view of the castle, and then it was actually cool. There were some really good northern lights, so we got out
Oh, nice.
and paddled under the northern lights and by the castle and everything, and then the following day we went and checked it out, and there was a big storm coming in, so we watched the storm come in.
Nice.
Brought our lunch and some card games and things, and kind of spent the day sheltering from the storm in the castle.
Damn.
So that was fun.
Your sister was there too, you say?
Yeah. It was over. We did it over our. My sister and I had the same birthday, so it was over our birthday weekend. We went and spent it there and celebrated. My mom was sweet. She even brought a bottle of champagne. Hiked it all the way.
Oh, Barb, always up to something cool.
She is. So that was a really memorable trip. That was really fun to kind of something different and do with family.
Yeah, nice.
So, that was the summer for me for trips.
Well, you've been busy.
Yeah, busy enough.
So you are in the process of getting ready to do some sailing.
Yeah.
Is that cool for me to say
Yeah,
this?
of course.
You and John bought a sailboat, like a 20-footer or 18-footer?
It's 17 feet.
17-footer, okay.
17-foot siren.
Wow. And are you going to be incorporating this into the channel and like...
That's the goal. Yeah.
Lake Superior kind of stuff? Or tell us about this sailboat.
For sure. Yeah, so we've been, since moving closer to Thunder Bay, that's been one of the goals is to get into sailing a little bit, to kind of expand our access to the lake a little bit more than we can do in the canoe.
Yeah.
And so this summer I started doing a little bit of sailing. There's a big racing community in Thunder Bay.
Yes.
They race like 3 nights a week and often need crew, so I was able to get on a boat. One of the skippers was generous enough to let me join, and so I learned some of the ropes there. Still have a lot to learn, but it got me kind of familiar with being on the boats. And
Just this summer you did that?
yeah,
Nice.
so I would go out, not every race, but a couple times, as often as I could.
Yeah.
And
Like in a deckhand roll or?
yeah, pretty much. So
yeah.
I did a lot of for the most part, I was just like grinding on the other side, bringing in the lines every time we tacked.
Yep.
But got to, kind of experience some of the other roles and see what goes on. So, and then we had an opportunity, actually, a guy who lives on our lake that we connected with because we were giving away a couch. Came over to pick up the couch and was like, oh yeah, I live over there. And I recognized that he usually has a sailboat out front. I was like, oh, you've got a little boat, eh? And he's like, yeah, I'm selling it. So then we bought it.
Yeah, that's how the boat came into your possession,
That's how it came into our possession, yeah.
Yeah.
We thought, you know what? It's a 17-foot siren. It's got a retractable keel.
Okay.
So that's the really exciting thing about it for us is you can beach it.
Yeah.
You don't need an actual landing to bring it in and out. It can kind of be beached. So if we're going around Lake Superior or things, we can kind of either anchor or kind of nudge in and camp off it. And then we can use it. Our lake's pretty small. We're just on a little inland lake.
Yeah.
But this boat's small enough and just right that we can launch it and learn to sail it on our lake. So that's the plan this summer is I'll keep racing because that's Chris, the guy who owns the boat I race on, is just a phenomenal teacher and super patient and
Sweet.
got a wealth of knowledge. But so I'll do a bit of that and then learn to sail my own boat.
Damn. So does she have a name or?
Yeah, Storm Curl.
Storm Curl.
Storm Curl.
Yeah.
So It came from big Lord of the Rings fan.
I knew it was going to
Yeah.
have something to do with that.
So that's like Gandalf's. It's kind of a derogatory name they use for Gandalf.
Okay.
When he shows up, kind of just before the storm.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like he's accused of pulling the strings and maybe, you know, being a part of the chaos going on or whatever. So like Sauron and Theoden and some of them, they call him Gandalf Stormcrow.
Okay.
And we just figured we wanted something Lord of the Rings themed because it's such an adventure-based, you know, story.
Oh, yeah.
But didn't want to be too, you know, we thought about like Second Breakfast or Pippin's Folly or something like that, but they were a little too obvious.
Yeah.
So, and Stormcrow's just a cool name. So that's what we're going with.
I love it.
Yeah.
So are you planning to do some overnight Lake Superior sailing episodes for the
Yeah,
channel and stuff?
that's the long-term goal. I
Yeah.
think if we're lucky, the hope is to be able to get enough practice, learn enough about the boat over the summer on our lake that maybe next summer we'll do like our first overnight on Superior.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yep.
I spent a little bit of time before the snow came, just doing some updates, kind of fixing it up, which I'm recording too, which will be fun.
Yeah, cool.
And making it, right now it has a cabin, just a really small one.
Yeah.
But it's got a cabin with like seats on either side. So I'm gonna convert, there's like a table that comes down the center pole. I'm gonna bring that so it can come all the way down. Pretty much make the whole cabin a sleeping platform
Yep.
for us.
Yeah, nice.
So that'll be this summer. It's just like learning about the boat, kind of customizing it to our needs, and then hopefully we'll be able to get out for like an overnight or two.
Yep.
And then, but like that's the long-term goal, is starting to do more of that
Yep.
on especially Superior. That's a big thing because we love Lake Superior so much, and
Totally.
our access on an uncovered canoe is a little bit limited.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll get to be out there a little bit more and safer, and as time catches up with us and getting in and out of the canoe is not as easy as it is these days, we'll hopefully still be able to, that's kind of the long term is transitioning,
Okay, yeah.
having
And,
that sailing.
I mean, obviously you got
We got a ways.
The two of you got
Yeah.
a long ways to go before that. But I mean, sailing, it just opens it up and more exploration on Superior, as you're
Superior,
saying.
Lake Nipigon, possibly. We want to do Lake
Oh,
Nipigon. That's the lake we paddled, like
Yeah.
circumnavigated.
Oh, yeah.
It's not super well charted,
Uh-huh.
so it's a little bit more precarious actually
Okay.
for sailing.
If
But
you
I-
lose the shoreline, so to say,
Or like shoals and bays and,
Yeah.
you know, like to like hit bottom,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
right? For
I see.
boats. So like for us,
Yeah.
for canoeing, it's fine, but in a sailboat,
Yeah.
the
whole other
depths
ballgame.
of the lake, right?
I got you. Yeah, I don't even think about that kind of.
I know. I
My
usually
brain
don't.
doesn't even go there, you know.
So,
We got some heat now.
yeah, we do. Yeah, that's kind of the short and long term. And then we're going in the process of, right now the plan is another trip up to the Barrens this summer.
Sweet.
We're gonna, I think it looks like we're aiming for the Dubont River.
Of summer of 27? Is that what
26.
26, excuse
Yeah.
me, yeah. 26.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
And where does that, in coordination with where you were when you saw the caribou and everything?
so it's a little bit west,
Uh-huh.
and actually we'll hopefully end up a little bit further north. But
Okay.
same kind of area in the Barrens. It's a river trip.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big change for us, or just a new step of doing a Arctic river trip. They're bigger.
Yeah.
We got a deck, we're ordering a deck for the canoe, a cover,
Uh-huh.
so we can do some bigger stuff. And we're hoping to do about like 600-700 kilometers
Wow.
into Dubont Lake. Yeah,
And how long, what are you planning to take to be up there?
3 to 4 weeks.
Yep.
I think we're aiming for like 23, 25 days.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's where lots of the time and energy is going right now for planning.
Well, how about this winter? What's happening? You guys gonna do some, holiday based or?
Yeah. John's got some plans. He's gonna try and get out for a couple longer winter trips.
Yep.
Him and I are gonna do a 7 to 10 day.
Yep.
I'm not sure yet. We might do Quetico.
I hope.
Yeah. It's hard to beat for winter camping.
Yeah.
Access, like finding parking, is one of the big challenges. We usually, to get to lots of our routes, use forestry roads or things like that. In the winter, they're not always plowed.
Yep.
And then trails, one of the main ways that we kind of connect lakes in the winter is through snowmobile trails.
Yep.
But the problem is then there's snowmobiles, which is fine. But Quetico, you get all the trails, everything's maintained, and there's no snow machines, right?
Yep.
So I think there's a couple options we're looking at, and it'll kind of just depend on, I don't know, a variety of things where he goes.
Yep.
But yeah, I think he's definitely going to I'm sure he'll get into Quetico this year, and that might be our big trip, or he might do it solo. He's looking at maybe doing, if I go for like 10 days, he might do a longer one. So I'll haul out and then he'll carry on.
You know, I was messaging with John and suggested that we I think all of us meet at Cache Bay.
Yeah.
Then you get back to Thunder Bay. I come back down through Sag. This is if RABC permits hold, obviously. Yeah. This is all contingent upon that. But then I was like, John, dude, then you can like ski out the entire way and come out in the north end. And he's like, what? Like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
solo Quetico?
Winter travel is hard.
And I was like, you got this, man.
Yeah. We're not like Bear Paulson type yet, you know? Like, we don't have, like, it's what some of those guys do is wild in terms of the distance that they cover.
Yeah.
Winter camping's so much work to set up and get firewood and prep and haul all your gear.
Yeah.
And then just the travel, like going 10 kilometers a day is quite a bit in deep snow without trails and things.
Yeah.
And like doable. Lots of people do it. We're not that advanced yet.
Uh-huh.
But we'll see. Maybe we'll get there. We'll do more. Yeah, like sometimes we'll day camp, or we like to set up for a day or two.
Yep.
Because it's kind of nice to get the tent set up, establish a bit of a firewood cache, have what you need, do a little exploring, and then move.
Yeah.
So we haven't yet got into those, like, you know, covering 100-mile type winter trips yet.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
But we might one day.
How's that fire going?
It's nice. I'm feeling overdressed.
Well, yeah. I think we'll be pretty self-sufficient from here on out in terms of what we can sort of now add on to it. And maybe that would be
nice.
Some of this like random shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to put you to work.
No, I love it.
Anything,
That's my favorite thing to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love processing firewood.
Yeah.
I genuinely, like, it's my favorite thing to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me that saw.
Yeah, and I think most everything that's around is cut.
Okay.
And we can even pull from this pile, Erin, and sort of utilize that to our benefit. But before we kind of do that, because we might take a break here for a minute.
For sure.
Is you're going to be doing some podcasting, more of that for PMP. You've done some, people who follow the channel and the podcast heard your discussions from Canoecopia.
Yeah.
Speaking with like the woman from Wabakimi with Caribou, Kate Prince from Wabakimi, and the other Canadian fellow who you talked to.
Zach,
yeah.
And then Kate from Bending Branches.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that just was like, we had a lot of good feedback from that. And
nice.
And so hopefully it sounded like you enjoyed that process too, and that you even like got some mics and you've got a special guest coming maybe for your debut with your new equipment. I don't know. I don't want to blow your.
No,
thing,
we can share it if you guys want. So yeah, I think for my first I did some interviews in Canoecopia, so it's not my first one, but my first official where I'm just completely flying solo Paddle and Portage podcast. I'm going to interview John, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna ask him the hard questions.
Yeah.
Get you guys the behind the scenes. So
I love it.
I'm excited. We're gonna do that soon. I think in the next coming up before too long, and I'll be excited to share that because he's a fun guy.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for taking that interest in the podcast, and
Of course.
hopefully too we'll be able to share like the photos that you've presented with your articles for PMP are just so epic. So that aspect of it continues, and your writing's so strong too, Erin. That I think that the more we're working with you, we see there's like multimedia dimensions.
Yeah.
Where, no offense to Ryan Rogers, who we love down in Duluth, but the guy's like a writer.
Yeah.
That's where it begins and ends with him.
Yeah.
Where it's cool that you're up for a little bit more of like the cross.
Yeah, wherever you guys want to toss me in, I've really enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
such a great opportunity to learn from you and Baxley and work
cool.
alongside you. So I'm excited for where it leads, what we get up to.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll look forward to that podcast. We're gonna attend to this a bit. We'll be back. Baxley should be rolling in here anytime, and maybe you and Baxley will resume a bit of the conversation. But we got some work to do.
Yeah, we
Erin.
do.
Let's hop on this.
All right.
You know, like with the reflective sunglasses, it creates like, it adds to your ambiance of like badassery.
Of mystery.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Like,
That's the goal.
You don't know what I did with those dead bodies, do
Yeah.
you?
These glasses do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tell a story.
Well, Erin, it's really good to see you in person because I know, it's been too long,
I know, it's been a minute.
in my opinion, and I'm just super grateful that you like made the trek down here to be with us. And I know sometimes, at least for me, like just even making the trek up to see you or doing anything like really big and out of the ordinary these days can be a little bit overwhelming. Because it's sort of a crazy time in the world.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about that before in bits and pieces, and I just, I think a lot of people are feeling that there's sort of a chaotic, unpredictable time to be alive, and I think that doesn't matter which side of the border you're on.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I'd love just check in and see how you're doing with that, and maybe compare notes and how you're finding your way.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, it does. It feels, I think, it doesn't really matter where you are, what side of what border you're on these days. World's a pretty chaotic place, and I know, in a lot of ways I find I'm like tempted to just stay closer to home and kind of insulate myself and my life to the known in some ways, but also I think, and there's value in that. Like I think in doing that, also connecting with family and community and the people that are closest, that's where I find comfort. But in saying that, I think I find a lot of value every time I do venture out and come and see you guys. Even last year when we went to Canucopia, it was, I was thinking about, do I want to go all that way and kind of engage in this big social event at this time. And I'm glad I did. I came home feeling very, very connected. Like it was nice to remind myself that we're all going through this together, and in different ways, and people are affected in different ways. I'm super privileged and fortunate where my day-to-day life hasn't changed much, and probably won't with the kind of things going on in the world. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't kind of enter into my news feed and my psyche, and so I think that's one thing. The two, it's like a juxtaposition of kind of staying close and connecting with the safety net and blanket, and then reaching out from time to time and connecting and realizing that, we're all way more alike than not, and getting through this together.
Yeah.
How about you?
Definitely. I really relate to that in the way that I've noticed that part of my response has been to make my world smaller. And really focus on the things that I feel like I have control over.
Yeah.
Which is, my community here in Grand Marais, and my relationships, and even, my own sort of activist work here.
Yeah.
And it is comforting, and I'm excited that we're talking about this because the flip side of that, yeah, there's a big fire behind me. The flip side of that is that I have sort of like distanced myself from travel
Yep.
and from movement going into this fall and winter, and I feel encouraged by the fact that you made the jump, and by you sharing that you know, it can be really helpful. Ember on the hand?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's okay.
Joe Frederick's feeding the fire, dropping embers down from the sky.
Yeah, there's ash falling from the sky, but the sky's not falling.
Maybe go easy on that next one for a minute. Yeah. You can't really tell Joe Fredericks to stop anything.
No, we can't. Yeah, it's, I think that focusing on the things, like you said, that I can control, the ways that I can make a difference or be involved, and again, whether that's just with the people in my life and kind of showing up for them, and then actually something that I don't really talk about much because I don't feel like being someone, I don't know, I don't want to be like patting myself on the back, but I think it's a good thing. I like to share it because I'm passionate about, we have a plasma donation center in Thunder Bay.
Oh yeah.
And so I just like donate plasma whenever I can, like kind of as frequently as I can. It's such a small thing, but that gives me a lot of comfort too, of like, you know, just this little way that I can go and contribute something that has some meaning. And that I found, yeah, it's interesting how much comfort I found in being able to do that piece of just it's not for anyone that I know or, you know, any specific person or reason. It's just easy way to make a little difference.
Yeah, like a kind of a greater good step. Yeah, absolutely. And I know you were talking about getting out and doing some more volunteering, and it all feels like it's maybe connected to existing beyond yourself.
Yeah, I've always been really enjoyed like different communities I've lived in, doing different volunteering, and I find a lot of comfort in that, and just being able to show up and help out my community. And then I find it's the type of community that I want to live in. I think I really try and live what I value. So I'm someone who believes a lot in social supports and community-based stuff and things that, you know, help uplift, kind of that give people a level playing field, and so a way that I feel like I can. It's great to believe in that, but you need people to participate to make it work, right? So just things like that I find help me find that it's just that sense of, it's not just like, oh, for the sake of giving, and giving makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm living in a community that's built around my values. And not only am I contributing, but I'm then connecting with people who have those values too, right? Like I think it's also the being able to interact and spend time with other people who also want to live in a world and community that's based around looking after each other.
Yeah, that mutual support. Absolutely. I really appreciate that. And I think, you know, there's no one size fits all for it.
No.
And it also can really ebb and flow, at least what's coming up for me. Like, I can get so busy showing up to meetings and, doing some of that work for a larger cause. And to the point where I also forget how valuable it is to make sure that I get time alone.
Yeah.
And time in the woods and time in my body. And, you know, you were talking earlier about like all the wood you split.
Yeah.
And that there's real value in that. And I wonder if you wouldn't mind talking about that holding that balance.
Yeah, like this summer we moved in the last couple of years, so I'm involved in some small ways, but I'm not like established yet in kind of my routine and community. I'm working on that, so this summer was a little bit more close to home, and I spent a lot of my time, we've got 2 wood stoves, so just spend a lot of my summer just processing firewood. We bought a bunch of birch 12-foot logs, so I just bucked it up and split it all, and that
By hand?
Yeah, by hand.
Not with a hydraulic splitter?
No, we have one, but I didn't use it. I broke it. I used it for half a day, and then I broke it. So I'm back to going by hand, but yeah, even that, there's, again, just the simplicity of, I think that on the most base level comes back to that piece of what you can control, and just even feeling, not that I have, like, I don't have immediate fears in any way that I don't think are realistic, of the world falling to pieces and not having heat to my house. And being able to process my own firewood still gives me a comfort, even though it's not like I'm doing this because I fear that I won't have the infrastructure to heat my house other ways. But some knowledge that I can sustain myself and and care for my family, and that we could do these things if needed, or brings back a sense of peace too. But I think it's just, again, because I can control it, right?
Yeah.
We have propane, and it still gets delivered, and we use that. And I don't think that's going away. But there's peace in being able to be like, and I've got a shed full of firewood that I cut myself.
Yeah, and what I love about that, Erin, too, in my own journey of developing my land and having now a structure that I could live in, that's totally heated by wood, and if shit hit the fan, there's a refuge, and that there's some sort of balance between the autonomy of being able to care for yourself in an empowering way, and the interconnectedness of showing up in community, and building support networks with one another. That's sort of like a type of future that we have the opportunity to create for ourselves, regardless of what happens beyond our control, and that is existing in communities all over the world, that exist in chaos. It's part of the human experience that I think we're all being invited to step into more intentionally.
I agree. Another something that I've listened to Trevor Noah's podcast quite a bit, actually, and I find a lot of comfort. I really enjoy him and his guests. Something that I've really enjoyed about that podcast and listening to them is there's so much diversity, and he grew up in apartheid South Africa, right?
Right.
And so it's interesting hearing him and some of his guests talk about what's going on in the world, and it's not new for them, right? I'm so privileged that this chaos is oh my goodness, I can't believe I learned about this type of stuff in the history books, and how can we be going through it now, when there's lots of people who in lots of parts of the world where that's, goes the world, societies, cultures ebb and flow, and hearing other people talk about their experiences of maybe the bigger structure that they're living in not being, the most kind of
stable or reliable.
Yeah, but
just
the fact that they're okay. They get through it again, and lots of it's through community and kind of coming back to caring for each. It kind of forces you, hopefully, to come back to caring for each other. And I think that's what we, when I'm seeing stuff and looking at just the news, which I think is super important to do and to be informed. But one of the issues with our politics these days, whichever side of the spectrum you're on, is how divisive it is. And it's so, and that's I have a lot of issues with the way the world is these days, but the biggest one is the divisiveness, right? It's that feeling of, for some reason, we're being led to feel like it's a zero-sum game, that if someone has something, you don't. And that's what's the most discouraging to me, is to see other people, just, all groups, again, either side, feeling like it's either we have it or they have it, someone's taking it from us.
That sort of contrived scarcity in a society of literal abundance.
Yeah. And so, again, I would hope in this, the paradigm shifts and we realize that that's not everyone loses if we look at the world that way, and we're better off getting back to that again. Whether I would like to see a world where on a large scale we look after each other, and that comes from the top down. But while that's not the case, starting at the bottom also works too.
Yeah.
And looking after each other. And again, being an example is, I don't think it's as much being an example for me as much as being a part of it exposes me to, it helps create the world I want to live in.
Yeah. And that's empowering.
And that helps me get through it, yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate talking about this with you and knowing that you're doing your best to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
And that the practice is even more important, or as important as the preaching.
Yeah, they're both important.
And that we're talking about that while you're here, helping Joe burn the balsam he's had to cut to mitigate his
spruce budworm.
Spruce budworm,
yeah.
And that we get to sort of demonstrate in our own way the collaborations and support that we've been allowed to give each other. So thanks.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. And I agree. I appreciate talking about it with you. And we talk a lot about it when we're hanging out. We have a lot of similar values and views on the world. So it's nice to, I think, talk about and just acknowledge that, again, amongst, sometimes, I think it's interesting because with our YouTube, like if and when sometimes we'll talk about or hint at some sense of what's going on in the world, people will say, oh, I like to come and watch you to get away from all that and leave it outside. And that's a very privileged, that's nice if you can do that, right? But it's not the reality for most people. And so I think, yes, it is nice to have escapes that don't maybe mention it. Also, I think it's worth acknowledging that even in this, especially, we did a trip to Quetico and went through Northern Light Lake and through Cache Bay, and so got to see where there's substantially less traffic because of the lack of remote border passes, right?
Yeah, that RABC issue.
Yeah, and so people didn't want to hear, we kind of talked about in the video, and people were like, oh, I don't care about your politics, and we're like, oh no, this is just like a real thing that affects paddlers.
Yeah.
And so again, a balance. It's nice to be able to get away from it, but I think that's also a privilege that most people don't have. Lots of the world doesn't have, to be able to just say, oh, I don't want to see this or hear about it. And I think it's comforting to acknowledge and see that, it exists. Again, not just the challenges, but the solutions too, right? Like that we're not just out here. I'm largely out here derping around, having a good time in the woods. But it's part of a bigger thing that helps find that, again, that connection and sense of control and kind of helps me find that peace in the world that we're living in. And
by being honest about it.
Yeah, being honest that it exists. And I think that's helpful too. That can be hopefully helpful for other people. I know it's helpful for me.
Yeah. And we were talking about that earlier, just when people acknowledge it, even if it's not the focus of the story or the conversation, it's comforting. To be like, oh yeah, I'm not the only one who's thinking about this. Yeah. Or trying not to think about this.
Yeah.
Given the
and I think that helps with action too, right? I think often we feel so powerless, but power's in numbers, and we live in a democracy still for now. And ideally, and it feels like, oh, I'm one person and what can I do? But that our system's set up for us to be able to have a say and have influence. And so just a reminder that we do and can in whatever way, whether it's chopping firewood or giving blood or shoveling your neighbor's driveway or contributing to a better place, better world.
Yeah. Thanks, Erin.
Thank you.
Let's make Joe's world a little better for a little longer, huh?
Do our best. He needs all the help he can get.
He does.
Poor guy. Look at him.
Hey, Erin. Yeah, it's hard to pull Erin away from the labor of the woods, but I think I found the perfect thing to throw in the fire.
Tell me.
Joe Fredericks.
Ah!
Come on, let's go. Help me! Sweet justice! Paddle and Portage is mine!
Help me!
We shall take it into the future!
To me.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, Erin did it. I didn't throw him in.
So I like to sing, I love to dance, I play the fool if I got the chance. All around the campfire light, all around the campfire light, all round, all round, all round the campfire light.